here he is in the top right of Overgrowth, losing that first game.
Yo Flash Wolves Leenock.
Always like when he dyed his hair red. It's been looking good ever since.
That looks really good on him. No question.
Down to the bottom left in red.
Gene Air Green Wings Terminator.
The color of Leenock's hair, taunting him a little bit with that. Blake zooms in a Terminator, his hair's blue. I'm like, oh, this is all wrong.
Red versus blue, blue versus red. So, I would really like to see a longer game here, to be honest. I don't mind seeing some rushes here and there, but the games that I hate, like, I would never rewatch that. It's just like, okay, he did an all-in, Leenock didn't see it,
yeah.
The game was decided while he was walking across the map, before the attack started. Like, there was nothing Leenock could do. By the time he scouted that third nexus, as I was saying, he's going to see that there's no third nexus. Be like, oh, I'm dead. You have no gas to your natural, and I don't see a third nexus right now? Oh, I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's a bad feeling.
Well, same builds this time, at least initially here. Nexus first versus the first hatch and an additional drone. I feel like this build could be compared to, for example, when somebody hides a pylon in your base in PvP and you just don't see it. It's like, it's not about like your micro, it's not about your decision making, it's just about lack of vision. Why would you make units if you didn't see a push coming? That would be really weird.
Yeah.
That would be wrong.
It certainly would be. Do you remember, like, way back?
Probably.
I think it was Nesty, who someone was like 4-gating him or something on Scrap Station, and he had like one Zergling, and he held it.
Yeah, that was Choya.
That was Nesty,
Choya
right?
versus Nesty, yep.
Okay,
I remember that game very
specifically.
specifically. One gas, Choya 4-gate.
Yeah, and Nesty literally had one Zergling when he started warping in units, and then held it. It was like so funny.
That was crazy. I remember that game so specifically that you're talking about.
It was one of those memorable games that you can check out on the GOMEXP YouTube page.
Yes.
Check it out.
Check it out.
And you can also check out when Leenock lost, I think it was Season 1 to Nada, when Nada took his jacket off. Most epic games ever.
I remember that.
Leenock won Game 1 with like a rush, and then Nada took his jacket off, and Leenock ceased to exist for the rest of the season.
Wasn't that Game 1 like on Jungle Basin? Oh no, that was Leenock versus Clyde on Jungle Basin. That was a sick game back then. God, I remember Clyde, man.
The first StarCraft II Bonjour.
Wonder where he is now. He used to coach KT Roll, so I have not seen him for a while.
No, I haven't seen Clyde. Did he go to the Army? I think he did, actually.
Actually, I think you're right, because I think he came back once.
I could have sworn he made a tweet or something. He was going to the Army. And I gave my final goodbye to Clyde.
This pylon, by the way, didn't really accomplish a whole lot. Leenock like almost pulled drones, and he was like, then he saw the Nexus,
a few down
he was
there,
like, nah.
But the hatch was finishing anyway, so it wasn't like a big deal. I think technically he lost more mining time than the pylon was worth, but it's like, not the most important or impactful thing.
Yeah, definitely not.
Well, right now, no gas yet for Leenock. Still playing a pretty mineral-based build, and a robo at the front door. So now we just got to wait and see when Leenock sees this.
I think he already saw it even.
I don't think the Ling's poked down that far yet.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
Click
from here, there's no question. He knows what's going on. This is going to be an Immortal push.
Don't count out the possibility of a sentry drop, though.
Yeah, that definitely can happen as well. In fact, sometimes people like to open with a Warp Prism to kind of like make their opponent run around a little bit, maybe get lucky. But I think he's going to open with making Immortals here.
Yeah, definitely a strong possibility. I feel like there's also the potential for Warp Prism go in there, harass, force a lot of units, mess with the drone count, then force them to like over-drone to compensate for that, and then go into a Immortal push.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We've seen that a lot too. But it's definitely going to be Immortal first here. And it's a pretty bold Immortal push. It's kind of like one of those, it's like a diss to your opponent. You're just like, yeah, I'm Immortal pushing you, and I don't care if you know it.
Yeah,
I'm still going to kill you.
This is like a parting style where you're just like, you can't stop this.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying to Leenock. Now, can Leenock stop this? It looks to me like he's trying to rush to Hydra, but maybe Roach speed, both of which would be really nice. But the one thing we do know is he needs to really push his creep out very, very quickly.
What do you prefer, actually, in this case? I kind of like Hydras if you can get him out. We just saw recently Hydra himself hold an Immortal push by parting on this very map. in very similar situation.
Yeah.
Same spawning locations even.
Okay,
with Hydras.
I personally don't like the Hydras as much. I actually do like the Speed Roaches and Speedlings, but what you need to do is you need to get out there and you need to make an arc in front of his base. If you're engaging with Speed Roach, Speedling, or Roaches with Speed on the way and Speedling near your base,
then he just uses your hatchery against you.
Yeah, and you lose it and the game is over. I feel like Leenock hasn't made enough units yet. Like, he needed to already be out there and force his opponent to stay back and, like, waste force fields. You need to draw out the push, make it a lot longer till they get there.
Something is making him turn around here.
Well, I think this is just poking. He's, like, waiting for these warp gates to finish up. Oh, he's going to do a little bit of warp prism harassment while waiting for some more units.
I don't know how much I like this. I feel like if he just walked up there straight up and tried to set up a good position using those units to defend the pylon, that could have been really good, but...
Well, it looks like he wants to do a 3 or maybe even 4 Immortal push, and so while he has 2 in a Warp Prism, he's decided, oh, I'll just go up and pick off, like, maybe 2 drones and a Roach or something like that, and, well, he just got a Roach for free, right?
Yeah.
For some shields, that'll be redone.
It's going to allow him to get Hydras out, though, and his Link
Yeah.
is going to be, like, insanely good as well.
The Hydras are going to pay off way better now, by the way, because this is going into a 4 Immortal push.
Yeah. And it's going to be, you know, with Hydra range, it's going to be an insane Hydralist count. Like,
yeah.
He should have, like, probably about 12 to 15, I think, by the time this gets there with 4.
The thing is, with where the army's at due to this Warp Prism harassment and what the creep looks like, if Terminator goes up the left-hand side of the map here, that third base will not survive. Leenock is going to have to drop down to 2, but as we were talking about before, Leenock is super good in low econ situations.
A few more spines being added here. A big Ling attack to try to catch reinforcements as well. Does not get those. Pylon is going up right now. I really want to know where. He doesn't have. Okay, so he doesn't have 4 Pylon yet, which means he can't use his Warp Prism to pick up his Immortals, and he's going to lose his Pylon as well. Oh, well, maybe not, actually. He's going to go over here. Force Fields going to go behind the army as well. Time Warp's there instead. There go the Force Fields, and those Force Fields actually block out most of the Hydralists here.
I'm a little bit surprised that he actually chose to engage here against this many sentries. Like, this is a very late Immortal push. I don't think that there is really too much of a chance of him holding this, to be honest.
Well, the Immortals at this point, like, one-shot the hatchery. There's so many of them, basically. I mean, he's actually just got so many more Warp-ins he can use, as well as continue to use these Force Fields. His hatchery is certainly going to fall. And look at that, just cutting the Immortals, or rather cutting the Hydras, making them Immortal food here. And, I mean, honestly, Immortals do okay against Hydras. They still activate the shield. And the Ling count here is just so low.
Yeah, he is busting this hatch, but you know what? Leenock has done a few things here. He's reduced the sentry count and the energy on said sentries. There is only 3 Immortals left. Looks like he's going to pick off 1 more, I think.
Some of them are very low on shields. In fact, I think they're all out of shields.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, 1 goes down here. Second one will fall as well, and he retreats. But this is a good place for Terminator economy-wise. He's got more probes, and he's just got the better economy. He's got the better production to continue this. So there's only 5 larvae available right now for Leenock, plus the units he's just making right now. 6 more Hydras, which are all going to pop out here right in front of his base where they're vulnerable.
Maybe he can still hold. Only 3 sentries. You know, when you don't have sentries, it can be rough, but when those drones get pulled, that shows desperation right there. Oh, really good force fields.
Yeah,
really good.
Warping in 1 more sentry as well to get that last extra force field there. Even warping in an additional 1 right now. Just having a great economy to do this off of 2 gases. And another force field goes down here. Not even really accomplishing much. That second one a little bit better here. And that Immortal has just full shields.
Yeah, in fact, that force field a little bit off, keeping those Zealots back for a while, but he's picked off the sentries once again. Looks like he's going to get the last Immortal, which means he may switch into Roach, but he doesn't have the economy to do anything with 24 drones left.
Yeah, I mean, he targets the Immortal, which means the Stalkers do so much damage to everything else while the Immortal tanks. More Zealots coming in here, and he's just going to run out of steam here. I mean, basically can only afford to make Zerlings, but he has no larva.
Yeah, like, he's even making drones right now because he's saying if this doesn't kill it, then what will? Now, he ends up holding it, but
this is going to be a second one that comes in a second anyways, and that's going to end the game.
That's exactly it. You can actually just send your 2-base economy, and you can make 1 more attack that looks very similar to that. You just warp in sentries and Immortals with all of your gas, and then any Zealots with everything else. And it's that's going to be, like, really hard for Leenock to hold. You know what I would love to see out of Leenock? God, I don't know. Actually, I don't think his economy can support it. Never mind. I was going to say, I would be, like, pretty sure he's not going to have an observer. He didn't have one there, and after killing every sentry and immortal, his gas is going to be really tied up. So I was going to say something about having burrow, but you don't want to burrow with lings or hydras. What you want to burrow with is roaches, and his economy, because it's like kind of weak right now, really he should probably stay on Hydroling instead of making any roaches, so never mind.
That macro hatch is huge, and he's going to get these units for free. I'm not sure what that was all about. That was like super, to be frank, in my opinion, very predictable. And he already killed most of the Warp Prism. That was actually like a small blow here.
Yeah,
and with the macro hatch, I mean, this is unlikely Leenock can recover, but I mean, it's looking like a little bit better. Like it's one baby step towards a recovery.
It's like maybe that. I mean, that was a huge pickoff, I would say.
3
really
Stalkers and a Warp Prism.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
He has to make another Warp Prism instead of another Immortal or an Observer.
But still, look at the army supplies. 10 additional army supply for Terminator. Leenock moving in with Hydras. This is kind of interesting. I don't know, Wolf. Like, moving in with these Hydras, I guess, like, if he's on top of them, they'll be fine because he has speed, but what is he trying to pick off? I guess he was... What was he trying to catch there exactly?
I don't know. I just felt like he wanted to buy time.
Yeah.
Because he has Hydra speed now, so he can still escape with those.
Thing is, if he loses even one Hydra across there, it's going to make the hold a lot harder. Look, oh man, that's like a very scary army.
But I mean, honestly, like, on the other hand, I mean, is there really a right choice for Leenock right now? I mean, it's hard to say. Like, is there a best play here? Well, actually, there is obviously a best play, but is there a good play? It's hard to find one. He's put all of his money into army supply here. He has 18 Hydras. There's only 2 Immortals. You know, this is possibly holdable, but he has 2 cannons here. Doesn't have a mothership core.
This is kind of interesting. Like, thing is, a base trade doesn't really work, right? Like,
no, I don't.
There's just no way he holds his natural, and these Hydras will not kill all the buildings before everything else will.
All right, here we go. He's pulling the drones. He needs to use some good force fields. Guardian shield goes up. The force fields here are decent. The drones are actually fighting.
Hey, that was good. That was really good by Leenock, pulling those drones back just like that.
Yeah, that was really
And
well
he's
done.
trying to make it so that if he does hold this, he wins. But I don't think he can hold it still.
Few Stalkers are warped in at home. I don't even think he can kill these cannons anymore, actually.
He can't even kill off these probes.
And again, Guardian shield goes up. Decent force fields. Actually, more than decent. Annihilating a lot of those drones. And now...
Oh, those were great force fields as well. Just doing exactly what he needs to do.
Immobilizing that army, and that's going to be it. There's not much Leenock can do from here.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed us again, you proved your words right, Artosis, man. He's so good at low economy, like, almost was able to try to squeak something by here.
Yeah, he made way more happen than you would ever imagine in this situation, like, but still not
Most people
enough.
would have GG'd.
Yeah.
But he made it interesting.
Well, you know, two early attacks in a row off 2 bases do nail Leenock, unfortunately. I'm sure a lot of people are angry about it, but you know what? Leenock did not play perfectly here by any means.
You know, I'm actually a little bit surprised Terminator goes to the build like this, considering he has 2 Zerg opponents. I would have expected to see a little bit more dimension in his play.
I would be more afraid of using the all-ins against effort, personally. But anyways, I mean, this is a GG. Terminator wins this match, but I do have to, for a moment, be critical of one of my favorite players of all time, Leenock. The fact that he tried to defend it that third, as I was saying, with this late type of Immortal push, with that many sentries in it, 4 Mortals, and the lack of creep on the left-hand side of the third base hatchery, that was literally the worst place that Leenock could ever engage that army. It would have been better to engage the army in front of the choke of his opponent. Okay, like, it was never ever. He was never going to hold. The hatchery is like several force fields itself. It's a very thin area. He has so many force fields. That was actually a really poor choice of him to do that. If he had pulled back, if he had either gone out to the middle to meet the army, or just let the third hatch die, he would have had a much higher chance of winning that game. The defense there, he lost so many units, so many drones, and for what?
A hatchery is basically worth about 2.5 force fields. I mean, when you think about it, if you like place them down, it looks about the same. So when you have that working against you, that's why nobody ever builds a macro hatch at the third base anymore. Yeah. Because then you just basically only need like 1 force field to block the whole army off. So, you know, unfortunate for Leenock, but we're going to go to our second match here after a quick commercial break.